Some have asked me before, Dr. Rothschild, I'm going to an event in Chicago. It happens to be a fraternity that I'm a part of, and it's their national meeting. Can I do that fraternity conference? Can I do the conference? And I always suggest that they do not do that because a conference takes place over multiple days, and it's better for you to look at a point in time, a 2 to 4 hour space of time, and notice what's happening as people enter and as they exit and everything in between. Okay? So I don't recommend a conference, even though it might cost you a ticket to get into that conference. It's not the same as kind of a one-time event. So keep that in mind as you choose your different options. All right? All right, well, let's take a look at what I'm looking for here. Okay? I'm looking for a minimum 5-page paper that answers these 6 questions, okay, that are on this sheet. Okay? The overarching question in your mind is, what made this event a memorable experience, and what can be done to improve the overall experience for those in attendance? That's kind of the question that we're asking. Would people be willing to pay for this event and pay even a premium for it next time around, or pay for it, the same amount? I know that I went to a banquet on campus here this past fall. I was invited, and I paid $20 for this banquet that a group is putting on campus. And it might have been $25 if I'm not mistaken, but it included, I thought, a nice dining experience and then a show afterwards. And I bought one for my mom and dad as they were coming in town. They happened to be here that weekend. I said, this would be kind of a nice experience, unique, different. And I brought my wife, and it was not worth the $20 or $25 that I paid for my ticket and several other people, because the quality of the food was not that great. It was kind of homemade, and it was homespun, and it was all paper utensils. It was not what I expected. It was a fundraiser for this group, but it wasn't the quality that I was expecting. If I had an opportunity to share with that group what to do to make this a better experience for people, I could list 10 things that would cost $0, but that could enhance the overall quality of that experience quite easily. Okay? So I pay attention to those things that are worth my dollar. And it certainly wasn't in this situation. I'm glad it went to a good cause, but I can never recommend it to somebody. And I won't recommend it to somebody unless I know that they have upped the ante in terms of the food preparation, the food serving, the quality of the experience of the dining experience. Okay? So keep that in mind, and as you look at this, was it worth the dollar? That's why I want it to be a ticketed event. Otherwise, a free event is you might get a free experience, not very, very good. All right, so let's take a look at each of these 7 questions that I've identified. Okay? What was the service like from entry to exit? Based upon observations and, notice I'd like to underline personal requests for services. Okay? What I mean by that, gang, is I'm asking you to kind of take on the role of part consumer, that you paid for the ticket, pretend like you paid for the ticket, but also event manager. Okay? But as consumer, what is it, what kind of experience are you having? From entry to exit. I'd like you to ask people that are working there or volunteering there for service. So, for example, you might ask somebody, can you share with me where the restrooms are? The question is, do they provide you excellent customer service or not? Do they just say, I think it's around the corner? Or do they say, the restrooms are right around the corner and let me walk you that way? And they start walking you that way, at least part of the way. Okay. One would be excellent customer service. One would be very questionable customer service. When you go to the concession stand and you ask for popcorn, Coke, or whatever it is, do they say thank you? Or do they just say, do they not acknowledge you? Okay? Do they try to upsell you? Which would be good customer service practices or good business practices. Do they try to upsell you? So do you want to cope with that? Thank you very much. One of the greatest examples of excellent customer service that I've noticed most recently is Chick-fil-A. I don't know if you guys have gone to Chick-fil-A in town. Has anybody gone to Chick-fil-A? It's one of my favorite places to get them. When you go to the drive-thru window, or you go to the front cashier, and they'll always say, usually it's on the intercom, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure to help you. Thank you very much. Have a great day. You know, excellent customer service. You compare that to some of the other fast food restaurants in town, you know, sometimes the bag is shoved into your face, or whatever. So you look for good, kind of good customer service, and that's what I'm asking you to look for here. Now, let me give you another example. Exit, from entry to exit. What is it like when you enter the facility? Are there long lines to get in the facility? Okay? I went to a concert this probably a year ago, and on one evening, Thursday night, they had Nelly, I think it was, hip hop, right? On Friday night, Steve Curtis Chapman, Christian gospel, Christian contemporary artist, all right? What a contrast. And I went to both of them, okay, to have this experience. That night at the hip hop, fortunately I was in a little bit earlier, but there were lines and lines of people. The concert had already started, but there were lines of people outside getting wanded, okay, because of concerns about having items with you that you shouldn't have at a hip hop concert, all right? Steve Curtis Chapman, no problem, really an enjoyable experience. So there's an issue there related to the overall entry, okay?